Hello, what is up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I am back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Pac-Man World 3 for the Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PC, PSP, and the DS version, aka the worst version of the game. Well, it's actually a good thing that we're not going to be tackling through the DS version, of course, because of, well, you guys should probably already know. So, last time we basically just managed to conclude the forms of, probably to me though, is the longest world in the game, which appears to be Greg Stone Bridge. And today for this episode in particular is that we are moving on to the next world in this game, which it appears to be taking place in the forms of Erwin's Fortress. So because of that, hopefully we're able to do... Oh, are you kidding me? How come that robot just managed to kill me out of thin air? And then, I don't know about you, but I honestly really despise those robots. Well, not so bad on these little saw blade ones, but the ones with the regular robots though, it can be pretty cheap at times. Which I must admit though right away, because sometimes they appear in thin air. And also, the most annoying thing to me though, is that they just directly try to home in on you with the actual, like, blast shots. Although, sometimes, and also is kind of annoying, is that they always try to run away from you if you're about to try to attack them. I get it because of the challenge, but even in this case though, sometimes these guys can be incredibly cheap at times. But anyway, enough about that, so let's go ahead and insert this little, well, let's just say a microchip in here, and that way we can able to actually butt bounce that particular switch, so that way we can able to continue our progression in here. So, yeah, everything's all checks out to be. So, yeah, today's day is of course the 26th of July today, in this case in 2021. Let's talk about the forms of other stuff worth mentioning for. Even though I was originally trying to able to actually just to try to mention about the forms of the medal count for the actual Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games so far. Although, I must be honest here, I think I should probably save it up until tomorrow, especially noticeable until the fact that, well, I'll get to more details about the forms of my uploading schedules for this week, for the sake of the forms of Pac-Man World 3 later on, well, to be more specifically until tomorrow, because, I mean, let's face it, that, since that we've pretty much almost, at to the point where, well, obviously ever since in yesterday, as you know, that Mighty the Armadillo already experienced the final board in Mario Party 5, and sure enough, he managed to acclaimed 7 victories in terms of Mario Party 5 when it comes to those boards, and yeah, that was quite successful, despite there are some chance times managed to screw him up occasionally. But apart from those aside things though, he did a great job at doing the forms of you know, the final main board in Mario Party 5, and now he's pretty much going to be moving on to the extra stuff of how Mario Party 5 offers, so... But then again, that will happen until by the end of this month in particular, for July, so because of that... yeah, speaking of July, is the fact that we're pretty much almost at the end of the 7th month of the entire year. Because after when, you know, July is finished, then we're pretty much moving on to the 8th month, which is, of course, August. So, I don't know if they might able to actually still reveal the actual next heat wave coming up. Well, to be more specifically in the UK anyway. But regardless of everything else though, we'll see what happens there. So, anyway. And, actually, that's another thing is worth mentioning for is the fact that speaking of Tokyo 2020 Olympics, well, to be more specifically, just recently, I completely forgot to mention something that's, really? Screw you, muscle-like enemies. Screw you. Anyway, I completely forgot to mention about the forms of the actual key factor when it comes to forms of... Obviously, we've already seen the opening ceremony, and it was so great. Especially noticeable that one thing I totally forgot to mention, and that is, get this, they got the video game music, which is pretty awesome. Especially noticeable they more accurately like a remix version of this particular songs that you might be familiar with. Unfortunately though, it doesn't seem able to have any Nintendo music in there, which is kind of upsetting, but regardless of everything else though, we did have some familiar tunes for those of you who ever played video games most of your time. So let's start from the top. Basically, the first song they choose is Dragon Quest Introduction, which is Lazio theme. And then after that, it was Final Fantasy Victory Fanfare, like every time you finished the RPG turn-based battle and all that stuff, like every time you win a battle, it goes like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do kind of moment. And yeah, that was actually a good choice. And also we got Tales of Sirius, which is Sly's theme, Monster Hunter, Proof of Hero, and my personal favorite, it will have to be by the forms of the Kingdom Hearts music, which at that point they've only got 2 Kingdom Hearts themes in the actual opening ceremony, which are both entirely related to the Hercules world, which appears to be both Olympus Coliseum and possibly Olympus from KH3 or Kingdom Hearts 3. And it was so great able to actually listen to those music again, because I have no idea why that Kingdom Hearts series always seemed to love putting the forms of the Hercules' world. Even though, mind you, only one exception by the forms of Dream Drop Distance, because obviously that game doesn't have, you know, Olympus Coliseum world, because obviously they managed to include, you know, some obscure worlds, like for instance one from Fantasia, as far as I want to pronounce that correctly, and also, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and also Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, the Three Musketeers. In fact, it's been ages since I actually last seen the film. I think the last time I seen the film, it was actually by the films of back in 2010. Like, I remember back in the day when the UK managed able to bring us into Disney's Cinemagic. Like, basically, sometimes they're able to actually include TV series of some of the genres, or most of the time, it actually includes films. So, yeah, I really do miss those days, potentially speaking, because that was actually the greatest moments back in the day. Even though it kind of sucks they managed able to remove that channel completely, but on the positive side note, we at least got ourselves Disney Plus at the very least. So, yeah, that should be alright. So, anyways, enough about that. And the next song they choose, well, usually they put, well, Olympus Coliseum first after Proof of Hero from Monster Hunter. And before that, we actually got ourselves Chrono Trigger Frog theme. And that was actually, I'd never actually heard of that music before. And Ace Combat, First Flight, Tales of Sirius Royal Capital. That's actually kind of a cool choice. Monster Hunter Wind of Debutra, and Chrono Trigger Robo's theme. And there's also another exciting song which it actually includes in the opening ceremony, and this appears to be kind of iconic, even though it wasn't meant to be for like something green, but no, it was actually by the forms of a orchestrated remake of the forms of that particular song from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, which is Starlight Zone. And that's actually kind of cool, because considering, you know, that Sonic the Hedgehog was now 30 years old, ever since about a month ago, so because of that, perfect opportunity they managed able to include that particular music during the forms of the opening ceremony, despite the fact that Mario didn't involved on the actual opening ceremony this time around, unlike the closing ceremony in Rio 2016 at the end. So, and also they did revealed, or they put, Winning 11 PES, which usually I have no idea what that stands for. And basically the theme they're going for is eFootball Walk-On theme. So it's like a Japanese kind of football anime kind of game or something like that. Even though I never really actually heard about the series, but again, I have no comments on that. So, and also they put in Final Fantasy main theme and Phantasy Star Universe Guardians theme. And I've already mentioned this before, Kingdom Hearts Heroes Fanfare. And also we have Gladius, or Guardius, Nemesis, 01 Act 1-1. And also we have New Year Interior, which I think I pronounced that correctly, or maybe wrong, but, oh, I'm all the way back here. That's dumb. Especially noticeable that sometimes this, level can get pretty much almost stingy with checkpoints, but it knows what it stands out to be, so... Yeah, anyway, and also they put in, Soccer Series, which is, Nankai, Genya Poitar Soccer Series Medley since 2016, and finally, Soul Calibur, the brave new stage of history. So, yeah, that's actually kind of a cool selections of songs they managed able to put in the forms of the actual opening ceremony for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So, in fact, let me know in the comments below for the, for the question of the day. What you guys think about the forms of, the actual Tokyo 2020 Olympics so far? Did you still enjoy it so far? Especially noticeable that you super excited, able to see some new events, upcoming. Mainly with, like, surfing, and also skateboarding, and all that jazz. Oh, seriously? Seriously? Oh, please don't tell me I have to go all the way back. Please. Oh! Seriously, the checkpoints are so stingy in this place, which... It kind of does the same thing for the forms of Spin Dizzy sometimes in the first game, and unfortunately though, we have to beat all these stupid robots again, so... Yeah, that's the thing I really hate about this, the fighting combat in this game sometimes. It's just these stupid robots. Well, not so much for these little tougher robots, but these ones in particular always just bug the hell out of me. Especially noticeable, they just always try to home in on you while you just do nothing. And as a result though, it's literally impossible to able to dodge any single, like, blast shots or blast shots at you. So because of that, definitely the most annoying enemies in the game in my opinion. Although, to be fair, I was expecting to able to try best as I can to able to deal with all these enemies and what have you. But most of the time, I just keep on getting myself butt kicked no matter what, so... Yeah, speaking of Tokyo 2020 Olympics, to be more specifically this year's specifically, basically, I managed able to went back onto Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 recently, even though, mind you, we've already done the Let's Play of the game back in last year, despite the fact that that didn't happen last year because of, you know what, and, because let's not mention about that again, even though I felt slightly upset about the fact that, well, they're lacking in emotions during the forms of the opening ceremony. Like, I get it because of protection, which is very understandable, but it just feels a little bit more different compared to Rio 2016 or, London 2012 in Great Britain, and even especially noticeable in the past, ranging from, Beijing 2008 and, Sydney 2000 in Australia, which, jeez, I can't even believe Sydney Olympics in the Summer Olympics most likely. That has become likely, 2 decades old now, which is pretty scarce if you ask me, but I digress. And also I managed to went back onto, Sonic at the Olympic Games on the iPhone as well, so just in case we can able to actually watch some of those cool events during the course of the actual Tokyo Olympics, so... But you get the idea about that. Even though, again, I will point it out right away, I will mention about the forms of the medals count later on throughout the majority of this Let's Play, so I promise you guys, I will able to keep in track of it. So because of that, just like the forms of how it does it in, ever since in Rio 2016, where we did done our Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, on the Wii U version most likely. And also we mentioned about the medal counts on the Winter Olympic Games in South Korea ever since in 2018, where we did manage to play through My Little Pony Harmony Quest on the smartphone devices, I'm pretty certain. So yeah, I was faulting myself about that. So anyways, there's a save spot right there. I do apologize for that belchiness in the background, just because, Well, you probably get the idea. I still need to drink lots because eventually, in certain days in the future, that, even though, unfortunately though, in the UK anyway, that we've once again stumbled across this pretty bad weather again. Despite the fact that this is, summer we're talking about here. And mind you, when it gets to, like, sunshiny day, I always go back onto Super Mario Sunshine, just in case if I was gonna able to actually just to have some fun, you know, playing that game again. Although, to be fair, I'm playing on the 3D All-Stars compilation still. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame that, you know, that game no longer exists on the eShop. Well, you can still get it on physically, like, you know, with the game card and everything, for a much more of a cheaper price on second-hand stores. But, unfortunately, though, that Nintendo no longer is going to be able to keep on making a game from that, you know, from that earlier point. So, yeah, and also applies to the forms of, you know, you can't able to get the first ever Fire Emblem game anymore in the English translation version on the Switch, just because, you know, it's no longer there, so... But I digress. And, I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well is that, speaking of Mario, Luigi for the game called New Super Luigi U physical version on the Wii U, in the UK anyway, the retail version of New Super Luigi U has been out for about 8 years now on the UK version of that particular physical version of New Super Luigi U, which I still managed to have, despite the fact that it might actually be a waste of money. But regardless of such though, the only reason why I've got the physical version of New Super Luigi U just to add it to my collection, and also because I would like to have ourselves a new box art of anything else to be more specific, to be able to have some, like, you know, different variety and all that stuff though. So because of that, that's the reason why I'm pretty much going to be skipping over a, you know, one combo pack within the 2013 re-release of New Super Mario Bros. U plus New Super Luigi U pack. Although, mind you, about the fact that the cover itself is pretty much exactly the same as the original release of New Super Mario Bros. U back in 2012. So, and why is Pac-Man still asleep? Oh jeez. Sometimes it can be weird though. Every time when if you finish take control of those two, you know, different ghosts in particular for, you know, Blinky / Clyde or Pinky. So because of that, yeah, you probably get the idea about that. So anyway, so let's get this little sparkly stuff. So just in case we can able to open up the little door on the floor over there, so that way we can able to do some more stuff. And thankfully it's actually pretty easy though, because I pretty much know exactly what I was going to be expecting to do. So in this case we do need able to create those platforms again, and hopefully once we deal with all that, while we're trying to able to activate those two specific switches to able to continue our progressioning, then we would able to expect to able to actually continue things on here. So alright, so this will actually activate the door to let us get ourselves a strawberry, so at least we can able to know what we're doing. Although apparently though, is the fact that during the later parts of Pac-Man World 3, I must admit though right away, that my views count wasn't exactly all that high. Mainly it's because, well, I don't know about you, but it might be hard to explain. Mainly it's because it has been about 3 days ago since I actually last touched upon this game, so because of that, I have no words able to think about it. So, and of course we have to still do some more enemies there. Although, it won't last for very long though, because until when it gets to the point until by the end of the game, thankfully we don't have to do with the forms of a lot of combat, until at the very end. So, yeah, we'll save that discussion until for later, so. Alright, so now we gone through all that, and we'll pretty much gonna have to guarantee to able to, you know, activate these 2 staircases right there. And because we're pretty much done with that particular 2 switches from now on, and now we can able to continue our progress. So, oh jeez, that was close. And hopefully we're able to butt bounce this another switch, and that way this will pretty much reveal some sort of like a spinning disc of any sort, which I have no words to think about. But at least on the upside is though, if we go in here, then basically we'll get ourselves... Did I somehow bypass that extra 1-up? That's a bit mean. But anyway, let's grab that extra life, and grab the cherry, and grab the watermelon, and I think we should be good to go for this point. So, well, aside from the fact that, well, usually potentially speaking, it's just the fact that, well, you know what I'm saying. So either way, I guess there's nothing in here, so that might be seems the case there. So yeah, anyway, and I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well, that I managed to able to actually just, well, that's as far as I can say about this point today, folks. I mean, there's not much else I can think about, but again, as I mentioned this before, I was expecting to able to mention to you guys about the forms of how, so far, for the medal counts on, you know, for this year's Olympics, usually goes in so far. So because of that, it's actually kind of weird to able to actually go back onto the forms of the Olympics discussion while we play nothing related to Mario and Sonic game, at least ever since in, Rio 2016, so anyway. Okay, you're supposed to able to go back there. And you're supposed to able to activate the Pinky Ghost right here. And you're supposed to able to actually make those discs appear, which is literally like almost existence. Screw this sometimes. Like, I did not notice if that was usually a thing. But anyway, enough about that. So, because yeah, it's kind of weird that since, I was originally trying to able to save up for the, you know, the Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, during the course of 2021, but of course we have to push it forward slightly in, well, the majority of pushing for it, for that particular Let's Play, so that that'll usually, it's kind of hard to explain, because I know it has been, you know, a couple of days since I actually did manage to mention something related to, you know, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, despite the fact that that particular game has almost been 2 years old until specifically in November. So, but at least we've still only got like, you know, 4 months left until specifically November. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and just deal with even more enemies, including the most annoying robot enemies that I've always seemed to have struggled come across into. So, at least thankfully we did manage to able to deal with these guys. So, well, despite the fact that they still keep on respawning every single time when I finish them off. But it can be a nuisance though, and especially noticeable we don't want to fall down there because that was a bottomless pit. So, you don't want to let that happen. So anyways, let's just go ahead and use this reverall pad, so that way we can able to, like, you know, get that little pillar thing go up until we're able to decide to wall jump. And I think that's as far as we can say about this for the most part. So, yeah, you probably get the idea about the actual discussions worth noting for it, but anyway. Oh, so it looks like we do need to butt bounce those particular blue switches, but of course before we get onto that though, we need to hit up there and trying to able to just try not to get hit. Oh jeez, that was close. And yeah, we'll pretty much gonna have to start from top to bottom. So I think I was thinking I was might as well trying to do that. So oh, and another thing is worth mentioning for this point too is the fact that during the course of on Thursday, the 22nd of July, that apparently the official My Little Pony YouTube channel did somehow posted the actual video of the actual voice casts already got their own respective pony toys, which it seems pretty cool though. And I seriously cannot even believe that Donut Lord, or specifically James Marston, managed to able to unbox the actual one of those characters in My Little Pony A New Generation called Hinch, and or Hitch, whatever you want to call him, even though it has been a while since I actually just managed to know about the actual film so far, until specifically until September, until when that film is about to come out on Netflix. So, and yeah, this is, I just found it kind of weird and fascinating at the same time to able to actually see, well, Donut Lord, or to be more specifically, I think I should probably take a break calling him Donut Lord, because well, obviously we have to wait until the Sonic movie sequel was about to be existence. So anyway, and unfortunately for me though, I somehow managed to get killed by that stupid annoying robot. So I seriously swear to God, they always have a vendetta against me. Which I have no idea why, mind you, and I'm thinking that we're not high enough to able to actually go up there, so yeah, it's gonna be one of those, well, I just get a horrible feeling it's gonna be one of those, referral, moments where we're gonna have to deal with a time limit thing, and I kinda wish they were able to display a timer or make the actual, like, TikTok sound effect, much like the forms of certain 3D Mario games, because in certain 3D Mario games, like Super Mario 64 for example, basically if you activate the, if you're trying to ground pound the blue coin switch, basically that allows you to able to give you some time to, basically, it'll actually just manage to able to hear that little, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock sound effect, until the actual, when it goes like fast, then basically that the blue coins will disappear for good. Unless if you're able to actually just try to lose a life and just try to do another attempt by able to obtaining those. You know, these blue coins, especially noticeable if you're trying to able to accomplish the 100% completion for, you know, 100 coin power star missions for 15 coins or 15 courses. So but you know, you get the idea about that. So anyway, there we go. God almighty. That took me a lot of hours to do. But anyway, let's just go ahead and continue our progressioning here by referral and try to open up the door so that way we can get our progressioning there. And of course we'll save our game here. So I think we're on to the 27-minute mark. So, at least we can still continue, though. So, either way, though, because obviously I'm in YouTube partnership after all, so it doesn't matter how much time I can able to record some of the stuff. Well, except for 1 hour videos, just because of, I don't know what the hell is that usually meant for. But anyway, let's just go ahead and, you know, deal with these, tougher enemies, as to be expected. Oh, wait a second. Oh, dear me. Sorry, I'm kind of felt a bit tired today, but mainly it's because of how the fact that, well, I have no words to say about this for the most part, so I do apologize for that. So anyways, oh, God, these guys again. But to make matters worse, we have to deal with these annoying robot enemies while they have shields on them, so yeah, it's just the fact that I'm not usually, I just always get ticked off by these guys because sometimes they always get myself butt kicked. So I always get myself butt kicked for these guys. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So, and I suppose another thing that someone said in the comments about the fact that, well, generally speaking, that I don't suppose I actually mentioned about this or Mighty hasn't mentioned about during the course of Mario Party 5, and especially noticeable with how Mega Man also did not mention that during the course of Klonoa in Pirate Dreams playthrough. But apparently though, that the next Pixar film is already going to be on its way until next year, which appears to be Turning Red. So yeah, that seems kind of interesting, even though mind you, we've already seen some concepts before, like, you know, turning into, like, a beast or something like that, or an animal, whatever you want to be more precise. But, regardless of everything else, though, that's as far as I can usually just try to muster, so. But, it does look interesting, though, so either way, though, that's as far as I can say about it. And I think that film is also going to release around the same year as when, the Lightyear film is also going to be on its way, too. But, I'm more excited with, Lightyear a bit more, just because I definitely can't wait to see what the actual, well, let's just say a prequel to when Buzz Lightyear becomes popular during the films of the first Toy Story film. So, but at least that might be something to look forward to. But anyway, but that's a discussion until, you know, specifically until next year, if possible. But, oh, seriously, I just hate these guys in a huge passion. But anyway, since we got safe on that little elevator platform, and, oh boy, this is gonna be treacherous. This is gonna be involved around a lot of tricky platforming, like, oh, I have no idea what I just did right there. And that's just not the actual thing I was meant to do. But regardless of such, we can able to do some more, you know, platforming. Involves around, you know, the tilting or the turning platforms, as you see, while dodging those red lasers of death. Well, I wouldn't say that, because mainly that you're able to actually lose a bit of your health wedge if you manage to get touched by the actual, well, the red lasers and all that stuff. So, yeah, you probably get the idea about this. And actually, I will have to admit though right away, I think this is probably my favorite world in the game, due to the forms of how the fact that, well, we ended up on the forms of Erwin's fortress and all that stuff. Although, mind you, that someone said in the comments about the fact that the 8th world might actually be one of the best worlds, which is kind of understandable because the whole city is on fire. Wow. Let's just forget about the forms of that Sonic 06 joke already. But anyway, so we'll just continue things on here and just make sure that we don't slip things up, especially noticeable that since we've almost at the end of this particular world anyway. So, because I get the feeling that we have to destroy those, well, we have to destroy these until whenever we're able to go and climb up at this point now and obtain the orange. So, and it feels like we've almost done with this, because I can definitely tell for the amount of fruits I'm going to be collecting and all that stuff. Oh, and by the way, something's worth mentioning. What, you know what the forms of that weird orange creature looking thing that we've technically already seen since the Spectral Realm levels, ranging from World 3 all the way up to like World 7 or something like that. Basically, I just have no idea what's the matter with the actual other villain, even though he that seems kind of pointless, able to actually have that another villain character, which is the orange-looking fella. And as a result, though, well, not the actual one of those ghosts, but to be more specifically, with that weird alien-like orange creature. And as a result, we're never going to see him ever again, because obviously that I'm pretty sure we deal with him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we deal with him. So because of that, yeah, that seems it's kind of hard to say it, honestly, because I know that it has been, like, you know, 3 days since I actually just managed to last touch this game after all, so. It was also with the forms of worth noting for is that I honestly do really enjoy using the actual reveral jumping, skipping, just because it allows you to able to actually make some of the stuff a bit faster, so that way you can able to do, like, fast travels and all that stuff, which is pretty cool in theory. Especially noticeable, I'll give this game some credit for it, but aside from that, it can be, like, quite fiddly at times if you're not careful, which that might be seems the case if you try to go through, like, you know, very difficult platforming, but regardless of everything else, though, you have to, like, use it just wisely. Well, not all the time, though, but just wisely, so. So anyway, let's just, go ahead and, oh, jeez. Okay, so we're almost there, so we'll just try to keep on jumping over those little red lasers and all that stuff, and grab this health wedge again, and hop onto this little elevator, so just in case we can able to, wow, what else, deal with even more battles in here and there. I'm guessing this might actually be the last section of this world, so yeah, because I get the sense of feeling that if we like, you know, continue our progressioning there, and yeah, more spectral ghosts. So it feels weird that I don't seem to be able to collect that much cherries, which I have no idea why, but it knows where it stands. So anyways, let's butt bounce these little box crates that features a Pac-Man icon, which I have no idea why I just managed to able to say something a bit awkward. But anyway, let's go ahead and just eat some more spectral ghosts every once in a while between both sides of the arena. And, of course, we do need to be able to jump over for those holes. Well, to be more specifically, that you don't want to able to waste a bit of health on you. So, anyway, so let's just collect some more pack dots to able to add up to our scores. And hopefully we'll try to grab this power pellet and eat it up. And hopefully it should be good to go for this point. So, anyways, let's go ahead and you know, keep on doing that. And once that's been done, well, I'm pretty darn sure that we pretty much gonna be able to actually just to finish up the level itself already. So, but at the very least, we've almost nearly at the end of this Let's Play by that point. I mean, surely that I don't think we actually stumble across any other like Pac-Man mazes anytime soon, or any Galaxians anywhere, because I swear we haven't exactly found any other like Galaxians for a certain amount of time. Well, mind you, because I don't know about this game all that much compared to the other games for sure, as I said. So anyway, now we deal with all these spectral ghosts now, and well, I think this might actually be it. So first of all, let me grab that extra life just in case, and butt bounce this little switch, and the light turns to green. And I believe that's once we hop into this little elevator platform, well, I'm pretty sure that that's the end of the level. So, and it's a good thing that I've managed able to get in first place, so that seems top notch. Even though despite the fact that I somehow missed out on Galaxian somewhere, so, but that's okay, because either way, there's not much right to home about, honestly, so. Anyway, so now we've finished Erwin's fortress. It's actually not too bad, actually, even though despite the actual the annoying robots comes into play, and I just can't stress enough how much I hate these guys so much. But anyway, so now we're done with that, and I believe we are now moving on to level 13. So yeah, seems that, to be more specifically, that yeah, we actually, like, you know, almost getting close. So yeah, that's pretty much summarizes that. Oh my lord, this frame rate, man.
Orson, what's with the weather? This looks like the end of the world.
It seems that Erwin's little siphoning experiments have been having an adverse impact on meteorological outpourings in your proximity, Pac-Man.
And what about the weather?
Very funny. The final siphon reading is coming from the inner compound. Make your way across the outer walls and find a way in.
And I think we should probably end things off here. So join me next time on Let's Play Pac-Man World 3, is that we are moving on to the 13th world. So I will see you guys until tomorrow. So yeah, later fellas.